A very good morning to all of you students. Yeah, this is your English teacher Bernadette ma'am, and we are doing a recap of the lesson, the story called A Real Good Smile. Does anybody remember who is the writer of this story? Very good. Bill Norton is the writer of the story. The first question for all of you students: what is the connection between non-verbal communication and this story? Anybody who can answer, please raise your hand. It's one person at a time. What is the connection? First of all, is there any connection? Is there any connection of non-verbal communication with the story? Okay. So, may I request Krishna to answer the question? What is the connection between the story and non-verbal communication? Okay, you're not confident? Sorry? Body language, very good. Ataullah, please stand up. Give me one advice which is followed by Billy about body language. Have a real good smile. Very good. He took the answer from the title of the lesson itself. It's like some smart students take the answer from the question itself. Okay. Fine. Anybody who can answer this question? What are the 3 tips of non-verbal communication given to Billy as advice? What are the 3 tips of non-verbal communication given to Billy as advice? There are 3 tips given to him. I want you to tell me what are those 3 tips. Yes, Daksha?
Having a real good smile. No hands in the pocket.
1 minute, let me write. Smile.
Be loud and clear.
Okay.
No hands in the pocket.
No hands in pockets. Okay. What does hands in pockets indicate? What does it? Yes, very good, Jonathan. Yes?
Lack of confidence.
Okay, very good. Hands in pockets indicates lack of confidence. Another way of understanding this is inferiority complex. Okay? Sorry? It looks informal also when somebody puts their hands in the pockets. Okay. Why should a person be loud and clear?
To look confident.
Sorry, to look confident. Any other reason why I need to be loud and clear? Any other reason? Somebody who can answer this? Without, yes.
If we speak loud and clear, others may understand what we want to say.
Yeah, very good. She is very close to the answer. Actually, the need why we should be loud and clear is to get the attention of the listener. If I am not loud and clear, how will the listener pay attention? So, where does Billy go to with all these tips of non-verbal communication? Where does he go to? Why does he go to the locomotive shed? Okay, so before the job, what is the procedure to get a job? Somebody said the answer. Interview. Okay, so please remember these tips of non-verbal communication were for the purpose of interview. Did Billy follow all these tips? Let's go one by one. Did he follow the first tip?
No.
Okay. What did he do?
He kept his hand in the pocket.
He did exactly the opposite. Because why do you think he put his hands in his pocket? He was nervous. Simple. He was nervous. When somebody is nervous, they are doing the opposite of self-confidence. Okay? So he was nervous. Next. Was Billy loud and clear when he went? He was not. Loud and clear. Okay? Fine. Did Billy have a smile on his face when he went for his interview? Okay. So, what did Billy do? Did he follow all the tips of Alf Agar? He did exactly the opposite. Okay. Though Billy did exactly the opposite, what is one good thing that Billy did at the interview? How did he show that he was an honest person? Sorry, 1 minute.
By speaking truth.
By speaking the truth. To whom did he speak the truth? To the interviewer. Who is his interviewer? What is his boss's name? Yes. Okay. So, Mr. Bidwell, he spoke the truth to Mr. Bidwell. Now, I am asking you a question that's not in the lesson. What do you think was Bidwell's first reaction when Billy spoke in such a fashion to him? What was Mr. Bidwell's reaction when Billy spoke very straightforwardly? What do you think? He was surprised. Very good. Very good. Ataullah has given the right answer. He was surprised. He was taken aback. He was surprised. He never expected any candidate who comes for the interview to be so straightforward. And so we use the word bashful. When somebody is talking in a very forceful manner, we use the word bashful, a new word that you're introduced to. Okay? Then, why do you think Billy was a smart guy?
He was having a backup plan.
Very good. He had a backup plan. Okay? But what was his first priority? If he had to get a job, what was his first liking? Please stand and say the answer. He wanted to work in the locomotive shed. Okay? Can somebody tell me what was the final ambition of Billy by doing a job in the locomotive shed? 1 minute. He wanted to become the engine driver. This was the highest position in the locomotive shed. Okay? Fine. So, why, again I come back to the question, I repeat the question. Billy had a backup plan, so we call him a smart guy. Now, okay, what did he choose as his final job? He had 2 jobs on one day. Okay, so what did he choose? Why did he choose the job in a locomotive shed? Because he passionately loved that job, or you can say it was his first love as far as a job is concerned. Okay, so if I get 2 jobs, I will automatically choose the one that I love, that I prefer. Okay, fine. So, did you all understand the lesson now completely?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now, we move on a little to what are the 3 parts of non-verbal communication. We just divert a little from the story. What are the 3 parts of non-verbal communication? If you could open the page of day 1, day 2. We started with this topic. When we look at a person, when we communicate with a person, we look at their body language. Okay? So what are the 3 important parts of non-verbal communication?
Body language, eye contact,
Okay,
face and distance.
okay, let's break it up to make it simple. Non-verbal communication has 3 parts. The first part is called body language, which again we break up, we'll go to that a little later. The second part is called facial expressions, and gestures will come under body language. We'll do the breakup of each a little later. First we understand what are the 3 important parts of non-verbal communication. What was the first part? Body language. The second part? facial expressions. Those who are saying eye contact, it comes under facial expressions. And the third part, there is a third part of non-verbal communication. What is the third part? Okay, I'll give you a clue. This third part tells us about the mood of the person. We all have moods, fluctuating moods. We are not in the same mood every day. So the third part, another clue, it begins with the alphabet T. T. It begins with the alphabet T. No. Mood, T. What could be the word? Sorry? No. Okay, the word is tone. T-O-N-E. So basically, as a quick recap, what are the three parts of body language or three parts of non-verbal communication?
Facial expressions, tone.
Okay, body language, facial expressions, tone. So please understand, for you to learn it well in the exam, just make something like this. Whenever you write any answer on non-verbal communication, remember these three parts are very important. B stands for body language, okay? F stands for facial expressions, and T stands for tone, okay? Now body language can be further broken down into posture, gestures. Okay, posture is the way a person is sitting or standing, and gestures is the use of hands to be clear about communication. Sometimes words are not enough when we communicate, so we use gestures. Okay, like your emojis on WhatsApp, which is not real communication but the closest. Okay, fine. Now, what is facial expressions? How do facial expressions contribute to non-verbal communication? Eye contact, smile. Does anybody remember we did a role play in the class to understand the importance of facial expressions? Somebody is talking to you about a serious topic and you are continuously scrolling on the mobile. Do you have good eye contact? No. So when somebody is talking to you, you need to put that mobile aside, have eye contact with them and listen to them fully. Do you think listening is also body language? Yes. So your body language indicates whether you're listening, whether you're preoccupied, or whether you're half listening. Sometimes I'm just half listening. Okay, so facial expressions can be found out with few important parts on the face. Not only eye contact, but with the position of the eyebrows of a person, with the condition of the jaws of the person, okay, and also the kind of folds on the skin. When somebody smiles, automatically there is a relaxed facial expression. So it's a positive feedback. But if somebody is grumpy, the opposite of smiling is grumpy, then you're not interested in talking further. You know the person is closed. So remember that facial expressions indicate openness or closedness also. Now, after facial expressions, the third part that is non-verbal communication is, what does T stand for? Okay. I would like one student to stand and tell me, just be very natural, normal, how will you share this information? Okay, so anybody who would like to volunteer? We are doing a tone practice in class. Tone practice. Anybody would like to volunteer? Yes? Tone. Okay, Ronit, please stand. If you're sharing a good news that you got the 5th rank in your end semester exam with your friends, how will you say the sentence? How will you express it?
Hi guys, I got 5th rank in 9th semester.
I think that, sorry?
5th rank is not
Okay. Okay, let us say you get the third rank. Okay, let us say you get the first rank. Now I want to see the tone.
Yeah, I got first rank in my semester exam.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Fine. I'm going to ask Mayuri to do another tone example. Okay, or Daksha. Yes? This is just an act in class, please. This is just a practice in class. Please don't take anything personally. Suppose Daksha has got some not so pleasant news about, let us say, somebody in her neighborhood met with an accident. How is she going to meet the person in that house? How is her tone going to be? Daksha and Meghana can come out and just do it as a role play. Okay, Meghana is the neighbor, okay, and Daksha has come to just out of concern to communicate. So let us see the tone of Daksha to Meghana. You got the situation, eh? Yes. Yeah. So what is the tone indicating? You can go back.
Sadness.
It's like concern. It is more sober. It is soft. Okay? Because what is the meaning of the term empathy? Getting into somebody else's shoes, feeling their mood. So if the person is sad, obviously your tone has to be according to the situation. And we saw Ronit's excitement about sharing the good news. So remember one thing, tone indicates your emotions. What are the dominant emotions we humans express? We experience happiness, sadness, stress, anger, very good, very important, very important. Neutral, yeah, neutral would become like cold, yeah, no mood or no expression, no emotion. Sometimes we like to just be neutral. We don't want to talk about emotions, we don't want to express it. But whether we like it or no, our tone of the voice displays our emotion. We are human beings, we are not robots. So we experience a gamut of emotions. So therefore, tone of the voice expresses emotion. Okay, so we are done with whatever we covered from day 1 of the semester. Yes, what is the topic that we dealt with today? Okay, we connected it to another topic. How many parts are there of non-verbal communication? What are the 3 parts? Okay, can we not answer as a group? Can people individually raise their hands so that we'll have a little more clarity? Because those who are answering, those who are sleeping are sleeping. Okay. Now if nobody raises hands, I'm going to point fingers to people. Please stand up and answer whatever you can. This is not an examination. This is just a classroom. Okay. So, what are the 3 parts of body language? The last row, somebody can answer. It's all on the board. It's all on the board. You just have to copy it or you have to look at it and tell me. 1 minute. Let him try. I'll come back to you. Tone, very good. So body language, facial expression and tone. Okay, Divya? All the answers are on the board. We are just doing a recap. So what are the different parts of facial expressions? Anybody can help Divya? The position of the eyebrows, the jawline and the smile. Important parts of facial expression, please write in your books even if it's not on the board. Facial expressions means eye contact, position of the eyebrows, jawline and smile. Okay? What does the smile on the face indicate? The person is relaxed, the person is happy. Happiness, relaxed, confident, comfortable. Comfortable and relaxed are similar. Okay? Only when a person is relaxed, he or she gives a good smile. Okay? We also understood that from the story. Fine. Okay, what's the third part of non-verbal communication? Okay, how is tone, what is tone connected to in human beings? Emotions. So we express different emotions and moods. We please remember the word moods. None of us is in the same mood every day. Okay, so every day maybe we are in a different mood. Sometimes we are neutral. What is the meaning of neutral? Cold, no very high emotion, no low emotion, somewhere in between. Okay, so coming back to our story of a real good smile. Okay, we think Billy is a smart person. We think Billy is a good guy. Why do you think Billy was very sad at the beginning of the story while he was leaving school? He was leaving school, that's the first para of the story, and he is described as quiet, very sober. He's looking around at his school. Can we get into the shoes of Billy and try and understand what is he going through? Yes, Jonathan?
He was struggling because he was unable to find a real job.
Okay, that is true, that is correct. But why do you think he was very, very sober or very, very quiet while he was leaving school? Just think a little. Imagine it's your last day in college. You're leaving college. I don't want you to go to that, please, but then I want you to understand Billy's state of mind. Okay? Anybody who thinks they know the answer? Why do you think Billy was very quiet, calm, and he was not very happy? He had some kind of a sadness. Why? He was going to miss school forever. Imagine it's your last day in college, you're not going to come back to college again, and you have such beautiful memories. Okay? It's like a beautiful phase of childhood. So he was sad. Yeah, it is happy and sad, but I will say more sad. Because I don't know what the future holds for me. Billy does not know when is he going to get a job. A job life is entirely different from school life. Yes, in this story, okay, one more question. It's a story written about a person's experience abroad. So the word school does not mean only school. What does it mean? It means complete education. Please understand, Billy has in a way finished his graduation. And when you talk of the word school from a perspective of an abroad student, we mean intermediate, degree, everything. So it's Billy's last day in school. He now has to find a job, and therefore he starts job hunting. Okay? Why do you think Billy goes to Alf Agar? Why do you think he goes? He goes for advice. But what feeling did Billy have when he went to Alf Agar? We all do it, no? When we need any help, we go to somebody whom we trust. Alf Agar was a mentor. Alf Agar was a kind of mentor. We have trust in a person who's like a mentor. We can trust them and we can rely on them. Okay? So do you think Alf Agar wanted Billy to get the job?
Yes.
Yes. So did he have a good intention for Billy?
Yes.
Okay, that is why he gave him good advice. What was Billy's response when Alf Agar gave him all those interview tips? What was his response? He listened like a very obedient student. When Alf Agar told him, see, you're going for an interview, no putting your hands in the pockets, He just shook, nodded his head. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The second piece of advice was stand with your body straight, chin tucked in, chest out, head up. Right? Very important kind of posture. Again, he said yes. And what was the last thing that Alphagar told him? Most important thing? Have a real good smile. So do you think Alf Agar gave correct tips for interview for Billy? Yes. Today, if you go for job interviews, do you think those are the body language and the non-verbals you need to follow? Yes. And definitely it should bring success to you. Definitely, even if you don't get the job, you will at least succeed in your interview. Okay? Right? Okay. Now coming to Billy's character in the story. Billy's character in the story. What were the signs that Billy was nervous when he went for the interview? What were the signs that Billy was nervous? Any single person who can answer it? Okay, that is the body language indicator. But how do you know that Billy was nervous? Anybody who remembers the story fully?
He was not smiling.
No, that's not the answer. Though that's not wrong, that's not the answer. How do we know that Billy was nervous? Sorry? Okay, he was underconfident. But how do we know in the story that he was not confident?
By seeing his body language.
Did you forget that he practiced before a tree trunk? When does a person practice? When there is fear. I am going for an interview, let me practice. So he doesn't want another human being, he doesn't have another human being, so he practices in front of a tree trunk. Okay, what is the effect of practicing in front of the tree trunk? There's some fun now. No, there's a person who sees him talking to the tree trunk. Who is that person? No. Watchman or gardener. There is a mental home somewhere near the tree trunk. Okay, the watchman sees this man talking to the trunk. So what does his mind say? This man is mental. He came to join the mental home. Okay? So let me be ready to guide him. The moment Billy got the communication, what was Billy's reaction? He took his things and he ran. So what do you think Billy must have told himself in the mind? Oh my God, this man thinks I'm mad. Oh my God, this man thinks I'm mental. So before he tells me anything, I should run from here. Right? So, okay, that's one thing. What does Billy do second time as a practice for his interview? Very good. So that both the parts of the answer are correct. He practices in front of the sweeper in the locomotive shed, and the sweeper thinks, he thinks the sweeper is a boss. Okay? Now let us get into Billy's state of mind. What do you think Billy would feel when he realized sweeper is sweeper and not boss? Oh my God, again. Oh my God, again. Okay? Now, there is one character that Billy has of his boss in the mind. He thinks his boss is a dash. Do you remember that word? We learnt a new word when we did the story. When you don't like somebody, the image of that somebody in your mind is negative. So what do you think was Billy's idea about his boss? There is a word. It begins with O. It begins with Ogre. O-G-R-E. Later on, please check the image of ogre from your mobiles later. Ogre is a very ugly creature. Sorry? O-R-G-E is okay, org. Fine. If it is an org, what is the meaning of the word org? An ugly creature that is frightening. So Billy has an image of his boss as an org, an ugly creature that is frightening. Right? But really, does his boss look so bad? No. In reality, the boss is not bad. Okay? Okay. Now coming to Billy's character as the last part of the story today, what are the qualities that Billy had in the story? One, honesty, very good. Adaptability. Honesty and straightforward go together. Adaptability. Vulnerability. Okay, we are saying too many words at one time. Okay, so let me put the words on the board to understand his character's sketch. Okay, the first is honesty and straightforwardness goes together. What's the second quality? Determination. Give me another word for determination. Perseverance. Perseverance. Okay, what's the third word? What is the meaning of resilience? To fall and rise. When somebody falls, they just don't remain fallen. They get up, they pick themselves up and stand up. That's resilience. Okay? And any other word?
Multifaceted.
No, multifaceted we will say when we introduce his character. But that's not a separate word. Adaptability. What is the meaning of the term adaptability? What is the meaning of the term adaptability?
Adjusting in every situation.
Very close to the answer. Instead of, what did you say? What in every situation? Adjusting. The word adjust is very important. Adjust according to the situation. Okay, in English there is a saying, in Rome, do as the Romans do. Okay? What is the meaning of that? Wherever you are, according to the situation, you act, you behave like that. So Billy also adjusted. When he did not get the loco shed job, he was ready for another job. What was that job? The position of a piercer in a spinning mill. Okay? But he actually loved the loco shed job. Fine? Okay, we missed out one quality. Vulnerability is very closely associated with nervousness and fear. What do we mean by nervousness and fear? When I'm doing something for the first time, I'm definitely nervous. My hands shake, my knees shake, my voice shivers because I'm not sure of the outcome. I am worried. That's a natural human tendency. But what is vulnerability? To move with the fear of rejection and failure. I'm going for an interview, I might not get selected. Vulnerable. I'm going for an interview, my boss may not like my face, or my boss may not like me at all. Vulnerable. But still, do I go for the interview? Yes. So that is courage. But he also has vulnerability, the fear of being rejected, the fear of failure. Adaptability, he adjusts. We understood resilience. Why? How can we say that Billy was a determined person? How was he determined? Any situation in the story that proves that he was a determined guy?
When he was practicing before the interview.
Very good. The fact that he practiced for the interview shows he is determined to get that job. Very good. And then Please understand, perseverance is another word. Honesty and straightforward. Why was Billy honest? During the interview, he just followed his heart. His heart told him to talk like that to the boss, and he spoke. When the boss irritated him, how did the boss irritate him? I don't want a person like you in my company. Okay, so what was Billy's reaction? Neither do I want to work here. So Billy he has the fighting spirit. Not egoistic exactly, but self-pride. When somebody's self-pride is hurt, then they automatically become straightforward. They are not worried about the outcome. Okay? So there are a lot of things that we can learn from the story. The important messages of the story are: be honest, do your best, but leave the outcome at the interview. Okay? And destiny will anyway take its course. Okay? Did Billy ever imagine he's going to have 2 jobs in one day? But that was his destiny. Okay? That was destiny. Not everybody believes in God. There are some people who use the word destiny, universe. So Billy's destiny was different. But did the fears of Billy come true? Did Billy's fears come true? No. None of his fears came true. So the meaning of the lesson is also that all our fears are built by us. Most of the fear that we have is inbuilt. Okay? We have to be able to stop overthinking, stop being afraid, and do what is best suited to us. Okay? So with that we complete the first 2 parts of Unit 1. What are the 2 parts? A real good smile and non-verbal communication. Okay? Yes.